evening, everyone. I'm sorry for the brief technical issue. If you can hear me, I would just like you to raise your hand or say something.
We can hear you.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
I can hear you.
Okay, welcome. I want to say welcome to everyone here on this special webinar. Welcome to Insight 2022. My name is Gift Dennis and I'm your moderator for this special webinar. This webinar was organized by Student Lead Africa. It's the very first of its kind, and it was organized to help people to be positioned rightly for the now and for the near future. We know the strike has lingered for a very long time, and most of us have been busy, or some of us have not. So Insight 22 is a special webinar that was designed to help you acquire some skills that you'll be needing right now and in the future to come. So I want to apologize for starting this late, but I also want to welcome you. I want to suppose you all have your gadgets, your notepads, your pens, and what this webinar is going to cost you is just the sacrifice of attention. We have very amazing persons that will be speaking to us. They are high-profile speakers, and they are ready for us. So I would like everyone here to listen with rapt attention. Pay attention to every word like they are your future, because they are. You'll be given the opportunity to ask questions when the time comes. So while you're listening, you can pen down your questions and also be attentive, because there'll come a time when we'll ask questions and there'll be gift fund for those who get the questions rightly. So once again, I want to apologize for starting this late, and I want to say thank you for all those here right now and to those that will be joining. And I want to say a special thank you to the organizers of this special webinar, which is Student Lead Africa, and for giving me the opportunity to moderate. Thank you. We're having two special speakers with us today, and right away I'll be introducing our first speaker. Just a moment. Okay. I'll be introducing our first speaker, which is the person of Mr. Victory Ashaka. He's a multiple award-winning spoken word artist, a poetry slam champion, spoken word artist, a linguist, content creator, climate activist, and SDGs advocate. He's artistically inclined with passion for oratory. He's also known as a social impact person. He's an undergraduate student of English literature at Lagos State University. He's the president of the Literary Voice Club and an ex-official of LASU Debate Society. He's also a youth advocate at Solution 17 Global and Generation Unlimited Initiative. His artistic mantra is to serve humanity. Impact as a beacon of hope for others to find hope. And he'll be speaking today on the topic redefining education and debunking the scam myth. I want to welcome the person of Mr. Victory Ashaka to this very important webinar. Thank you for being here with us. Welcome. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. So I'd like to confirm before I proceed, I'd like to confirm if everyone can hear me.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can.
All right. Thanks so much. Thanks so much to the moderator. And thanks so much to Student Lead Africa for having me this evening. It's my sincere pleasure, my utmost pleasure to join you all here today. And I consider it a privilege to join other speakers, myself, Mr. Kende, Mr. Opemi, Mr. Temitayo, that will be, as as we come together to for this virtual conference that has been organized for us to talk about redefining education and debunking the scam myth. So personally, I am known as a spoken word poet, and this is what I do. I use my voice, I lend my voice to social issues like this to motivate people, to inspire people to take action, to get educated with different aspects. So this evening, I have a brief time to discuss, because I consider this a discussion that we are coming together to rub minds together. As I speak, we'll also be taking questions. I'd like to take questions and get contributions from other people also. So a compendium of our ideas will definitely aid us understanding. But before then, and I just feel that before I start, I should just do a piece before I spend a few many minutes to talk about this topic today. So first of all, I'd like to start with a piece that I tied to the ego. As a spoken word poet, I wrote this piece titled The Ego. Now, this spoken word piece is conceptual, which means amongst a flock of birds, the ego is distinct because of the power of foresight. And the ego maintains a high altitude amongst a flock of birds. So this means that if we are to stand out in our contemporary society today, we've got to have the willpower to go for quality education for us to stand out. So ladies and gentlemen, listen. I looked above the ground and set my gaze at the sky to behold the splendor of how beautiful heavenly creatures soar in the sky. I was captivated by a flock of birds soaring in a direction. From dawn to dusk, the raven, sparrow, and pigeon are commonly seen flapping their wings to seek shelter on trees, in their nests, and the hollow places of the earth. I thought I had seen it all until an exquisite bird caught my eyes while gliding against the storm and flying from the pinnacle of the mountain to a different direction. Oh, that must be an eagle. So just like the other company of birds, many people are like the birds of the same feather flocking together, moved by the waves of the crowd, following the tides without a question about the endless possibilities in the long run. If you happen to see an eagle sitting high above a tree or cliff of the steep mountain, watch closely and see how attentive the bird is, because to be out of vision is to run out of motion, action, and manifestation. And until you have attention, every other thing you do may bring you back to the same position. A life without vision is like a light that is dimming and beginning to flicker by the speed in time. It seems to be getting darker and quicker. The intriguing thing about lack of vision is, even though it's like a shadow that accompanies you wherever you go, lack of vision is a choice. Yes, it's a choice. The eye is the window to the soul and the light of the body, with the possibility to break the grip of fear and make you withstand the dead of the night and the raging storm. Say to yourself, I believe I can fly. As your superior fortification to be imbued with vision, tenacity, fearlessness, vitality, and the capacity to always try to triumph. Oftentimes we say tomorrow, we will live by the realities of what we hope for, saying that our future is bright without knowing that tomorrow isn't just promising to those who don't have an authentic vision for societal conviction. Sometimes when you are beaten out of the ring of life and when you back down, you're just being haunted by your background because there is no vision to stand your ground without shadowboxing. How do we get out of bed any time of the day to prepare our daily tasks in a jiffy, expecting to ace all of life's examination in just one sitting? Oh no, that's a lie. Life also has a carryover or one pace through the nose with an extra year for the refusal to stay clear to prepare for the vision. Need I say, what you realize is at the mercy of what you visualize, and what you capture is at the mercy of what you picture. The stories of men are compendiums of their track records. Having eyes without vision make things fall apart, because our contemporary society is no longer at ease to keep measuring time for when we shall see at least half of a yellow sun as a beam of hope that everything good will come. What is this thing around our neck, like chains of the seats, depriving us from knowing that we must set forth at dawn? How do we grow when we don't know? The first step on the journey of 1,000 miles is a realization that a life without vision is a life of fiction. So we've got to be real. Our abilities should be reviewed, our fears concealed, because we've got the wheel and we are the drivers of our own wheel. So as far as your eyes can see, you can look beyond the stars, or else one becomes gloomy like diamond in the rough, having exceptional potentials but lacking refinement or polish. So in the face of insecurity, we've got to change our battleground from the mind like a fertile land where we plant the seed of greatness to reap the reward of bountiful harvest to become champions. Over time, the eagle goes to the mountaintop and goes through a gruesome process of change, hitting its beak against the rock, plucking out its talons and feathers with new strength, new forms, and new dimension. There comes a time when we must take a visionary flight of rebirth for strategic repositioning, because vision is the definition of your life's destination. So regardless of the turbulence, aim for the high heavens. Just in case you fall, you only fall among stars, mounting up with wings as eagles amongst the flock of birds. Disaster or the storm of life doesn't really derail destiny. You know what does? Giving up almost at the peak. Don't you ever lose your sight. Godspeed. So, hello everyone, once more. That was the piece I just performed titled The Eagle. Now, coming to the topic of discourse this evening that we have to contribute, I have to contribute and also seek the indulgence of other people here today on this live session, this virtual session, which is titled The Redefining Education, Debunking the Scam Myth. Now, I have come to realize that as people in our contemporary society, we have our choices to make, and we can either make or create the future we want to see through the access to information and knowledge we get. So a lot of people are used to saying that knowledge is power. But personally, I choose to say that applied knowledge is power. Yes, because when we have access to information, access to knowledge, and we get those information and we get knowledgeable about a thing, if we do not act on that thing, it doesn't bring the result that we want to get. It doesn't produce the result that we are looking forward to seeing. So that is why knowledge and information applied and worked upon becomes power. And I discovered that in our contemporary society today, a lot of people also are prone to saying that education is a scam, that school is a scam. I'm sure that some of us here today, we've heard it a lot of times from some persons that school is a scam and such as that. So what I would like to say this evening is every single person has their own ideologies. However, there comes a time when we need to look into the things that we've got to do at the right time appropriately. By saying this, I mean that education and schooling has to be demystified. I have to explain them, analyze them, looking at it from a word view, from a word perspective about our contemporary society and the things that we see in our society today and the involvements that we experience in the world today. Now, education, according to, in the words of the South African president, Nelson Mandela, it says that education is the most powerful weapon in which we can use to change the world. This means that access to education gives us a sense of purpose, a sense of imagination to create the future we want to see through access to education, for us to have access to job opportunities and a good standard of living. And I believe that education is a means to an end. It is a process in the word of ours. It's a process whereby we are able to go through, get the experience, get the requisite knowledge for life when we go into the work and the marketplace. So education is not a scam. School is not a scam. It depends on the eye we used to see it. It depends on how we perceive it, our perspective towards education and schooling. Now, we've come to see that a lot of people go to school, yes, but we can also say that there are different types of education. We have the formal education and the informal education. So regardless of the type of education anybody chooses to acquire, it could be the formal education, which entails going to school, getting into an institute, getting into an organization that helps our skill, helps us increase our capability for the future. And if we are also talking about informal education, this could be referred to as someone who is solely based on handwork, those who do some lucrative jobs and such as that. So this is referred to as the informal education, yes. And I know that a lot of us here today, we've come in contact with informations like that. So you'll discover that over time, a lot of people say education is a scam, but that is a myth. That is not true. That is untrue, simply because we need to redefine education. How we are able to redefine education is based on the things or the concepts we are able to get from it. So I personally believe that education should be refined in the aspect that has to do with quality education, getting access to the necessary skill that will provide us access to job opportunities, a good standard of living, the required skill for the job market, such as there are different skills that we could definitely entail, and I'll be coming to that in a few minutes from now. So I believe that education, defining education simply means what we can get out of school. Yes. Personally, I'm a student of the Lagos State University, and I know that as a student, I have the obligation to attend classes, to take classes, my courses, to ensure that I graduate from school. And if I choose to further my education, my master's and such as that, yes, I've come to realize that. I have also come to realize that in a bid to get this qualification, this educational qualification, I also need to work on my own skill and competence for the marketplace. So there are a lot of things that will not be taught in the school, but every single person needs to take that self-responsibility to ensure that they get equipped with the requisite skill, competence, capability for the marketplace. Because trust me, our curriculum today in our contemporary society in this part of Africa today has not been improved or has not been updated. So a lot of things are still redundant in the system. So I believe that I personally, I have come to realize that while I am going for the qualification to graduate, to get the degree, to valid degree, I also spend time to build my own skill, my capacity. And that is why I've been able to carve a niche for myself around my own course of study. So I personally, I study English and literary studies, and I discovered that if I must prepare for the workplace, for the marketplace, I need to think out of the box, think past the paper I'll be getting, the degree I'll be bagging, to think about what skill will I be contributing to the world when I'm done with school. What are the competencies that I would have got that I'll be proud to say that based on my education, I am able to do this, I am qualified to do this. And this is the main question, or this is the question that needs an answer that every single person needs to understand. So I believe that school is not a scam. Education is not a scam. It only depends on how we are able to harness it, the potentials we are able to bring out, the innate abilities we are able to bring out from our wealth of experience from school. So, for example, bringing an analogy from the fact that has to do with the informal education. Now, a young boy who goes to meet a man who is like an apprentice in a shop trying to learn sales. So a young boy tries to learn sales, but isn't going to school, isn't exposed to the four walls of school. Now, this young person goes to maybe, let's say, Alaba International Market or any other market, goes there, learns from his boss, gets the necessary skill, succeeds at it, and he becomes a boss of his own. Now, such a person, we cannot say that that person is not educated. We can only say that such a person has got informal education from the wealth of experience that person has got from the boss, from the person's boss. Now, that is formal education. So that is informal education rather. So formal education has to do with the ones we are able to get from the four walls of the school, from an institute, the certification we are able to get from organizations and such others. So if we are redefining education, I'll start by saying that if we must redefine education, we have to start from the skills, the necessary skills that we can get from the four walls of school or anywhere we find ourselves, that we are getting the requisite knowledge for a good standard of living in years to come, in the long run. In the long run. Hello, sorry, can we see here? Hello, I'd like to confirm. Hello?
I can hear you. Hello, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yes. So I'll proceed rather. Yeah, thanks so much. So I believe that the competence we are able to get, the necessary skill we are able to get, depends on how. I hear you. All right. Depends on how we are able to stand in years to come in the long run. So I personally believe that if we are redefining education, we need to redefine education from the aspect of our communication skills. How we are able to communicate our values, our value proposition, wherever we find ourselves, irrespective of our discipline, our choice of study, or anywhere we find ourselves in our field, in our area of specialization. How are we able to communicate the value that is incumbent in that area of specialization? So if you are if, for example, if you're a student of medicine, if you are engineering student, if you're a student of English, if you are a student of law, and any other discipline that has to do with formal education, the ability to communicate this value, communicate our skills and proficiency determines the opportunities we are able to get in the long run, So this could entail getting the necessary communicative skill, like public speaking, being able to communicate with people, because in our contemporary society, I'll say that public speaking is one of the most sought out skill that is proficient for our society. Our ability to communicate and communicate your value so well. So I'll also say that the leadership that comes with our area of specialization it's also necessary. It's also crucial for our education, either formal or informal education, leadership skill, because the marketplace, the job place is waiting for those who have got the necessary skill required for that place of influence. If we must have that sphere of influence, in the place of influence, we've got to maximize the communicative skill, our leadership skill in our area of specialization. Also, quality education should also be hinged on media expansion to increase literacy and education. Now, talking about technology and access to the internet. Now, the world is global. The world has gone global. So years ago, it takes days for some persons to get to the next city. It could take days to get access to information, whereby people need to get access to the library to get information. But now in our contemporary society, we've got exposure to technology, and we can use this access to technology to influence our world, to get the requisite knowledge in a split second. Every single thing is at our fingertip, and we can access information wherever we find ourselves. So if you have got any skill, if you've got any competence, if you've got any innate ability, it depends on how you are able to maximize the information at your disposal to stand your ground and to get that proficiency in it will determine the result you get in the long run. It depends on the result you get in the long run. So if we've got skills, if we've got different competence, I believe that we have to ensure that we follow the trend of times and season. Now, the world is a global village, and we have access to information. Every single thing is at your fingertip. You can get access to the information that will improve you. You can get access to the information that is necessary for every single time. So there is no excuse to not being able to access a certain number of information that will definitely aid excellence in the long run. Yeah, in the long run. So I hope everyone can hear. Okay, so in the long run, basically. So another aspect, after considering the quality education, so regardless of the fact that our curriculum right now has not been updated, we also have the responsibility to build our own skills, our own competence, using the power of technology to get the necessary skill, getting certification, applying for courses, fellowships, and other things that could aid our own growth in our own field. There are a plethora of them that we can access on the internet. And definitely, the internet is there to expose us to a variety of information and opportunity. So I would also like to reiterate the fact that deals with media expansion to increase literacy and education. Now, social media platforms like Facebook, like Instagram, LinkedIn, Google, and such other platforms have the power to improve our own perspective. So it depends on how we use this social media platform. The way we use the social media platforms depends on the opportunities we are able to get from them, and the relevant skill we are able to harness through the power of social media. That is why I said that education is definitely not a scam. So every single person has equal opportunity to access it. So I will say that the opportunities opportunities are universal, and we have the equal opportunity to maximize them. Now, a lot of people get access to education just to overcome poverty, to live above the poverty line and be free from social vices. Yes, because education is definitely one of the means to an end to escape poverty, basically. And a lot of people today who go into other social vices, fraudulent activities, simply do that because they've not harnessed the power of the internet. They've actually harnessed the power of the internet, but using it wrongly. So if we have come to realize that education is an opportunity to escape poverty, this has to do with the fact that the level of information we get access to, the level of skill we get equipped with, will determine how we are able to use it. So it also depends on our critical thinking and problem solving skill that we are able to get from it. So I believe that education also provides us with the critical thinking and problem solving skill that we are able to live in our contemporary society. Also creativity. So a person who has access to education will definitely be distinct from a person who doesn't have access to education. So there is a huge gap and a huge difference between both. Access to education aids our creativity, our ability to think, our ability to see the world from different perspectives, the ability to be innovative with information to create a kind of future that we want to see for ourselves. Also, computer literacy skill, because we have access to these, and there's no excuse to why we are not, why anybody cannot harness informations on the internet and such as that. And in the words of Alvin Toffler, it says that the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So I believe that the illiterate of the 21st century are not those who cannot just read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. And that is why I am talking about this redefining education, how we are able to acquire quality education through computer literacy skill, through the power of the internet, technology, and believing in the ties that binds the human spirit. Because I believe that youthful willpower is the strength of every thriving nation, as coalitions of dreamers that can rise as fearless redeemers with wild dreams too hard to be slain on the altar of inaccessibility. And I believe that education will definitely grant us the access, the opportunity to create the future we want to see. So definitely, education is not a scam. Schooling is not a scam. It all depends on how we harness education, how we see education, our perspective about education that we get. It depends on how we can harness the education and how we can learn, continually learn and improve ourselves, getting the required information, communicative skill, leadership, critical thinking, problem solving skill, creativity with every single talent we've got. So education does not kill any talent. It depends on how we are able to harness it, how we are able to learn using different social media platforms, using technology to harness the information we want to get. For instance, the YouTube platform is a great platform for us to harness information. YouTube, for instance, can definitely teach any person anything from the scratch to intermediate level and such as that. So this is the essence of education. Education is not a scam. And I believe that we can make a change and we can impact our world through access to information and education, that education is the most powerful weapon in which we can use to change the world. So thank you so much. Right about now, over to the moderator. So if we have questions, if we have contribution from other people, I think now is the right time to access that. Thank you.
Can you hear me? I would like to know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear
We can
you.
hear you. We can hear
Yeah,
you.
we can hear you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, Mr. Victory Ashaka. That session was very, very eye-opening. Okay, right about now, I'll be asking some questions. I'm sure we all paid attention to this last session. So I'll ask a question, The first person to answer correctly will get the prize. There are prizes to be won. You use the chat box. On the chat box, the first person that answers correctly gets the prize to the question. So my first question is this. Okay, the speaker did a spoken word piece at the beginning of his speech. The first person that gets this answer gets the prize for this first question. So I want you to tell me, what is the title of the spoken word piece he did? That's the first question. You can use the chat box. Okay. 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 Wow. Okay. Second question. According to the speaker, what determines the opportunities we get outside of schools? While he was talking, he mentioned some things that gives us access. So what is that particular thing that gives us access to opportunities outside of the schools? The first person to get this answer correctly also would have the gift. Skills, is it skills? Value proposition. Yeah. Okay. I have one last question. He mentioned about three things that also stands us out when we leave the schools. He mentioned three things. The first person to also get this question. Three things. The first one is part of the second question. So the three things, use the chat box. What are the three things that makes us stand out, that makes education not scam outside of school or in the market? Thank you. Okay, I've seen a few answers. The speaker would also help us to tell us the winners of these three questions. But I think I've seen my winners. After the whole session, I'll announce the winners to these three questions. Thank you very much. Thank you for participating. Keep answering. You might be the one to win, even if you answered last. Okay, we'll be having our second speaker come up. I'd also like you to pay rapt attention. Our second speaker is the person of Mr. Akinni Opeyemi. I'm just going to read out his profile, so just listen. Mr. Akinni Opeyemi is a USA scholar, an engineering graduate of the Federal University of Technology, Akure. He will be sharing from his wealth of experience how to develop relevant skills as an undergraduate while curbing the common fear of missing out, popularly known as FOMO. Can we still hear me? Okay. Over the years.
Yes,
We can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Over the years, he has acquired many marketable skills ranging from business strategists and analysts to tech, web development, data analysts, machine learning, to specific ones like mechatronics, engineering designs, and analysis. He's a serial volunteer and an avid supporter of environmental sustainability under the umbrella of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. He's currently an NYSC corp, serving as a graduate assistant at the medical at Michael Okpara University of Agriculture, Umudike, Abia State. I want to welcome Mr. Akinni Opeyemi to Insight 22. Please welcome him and please pay attention so you can get all that he has for us. Thank you, Mr. Akinni. You have the stage now.
good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
We can hear you. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the introduction. I really appreciate that. And
Yes, we
also
can hear you.
my friend Victory for his beautiful presentation. That was glamorous. Thank you so much. So this evening, like she has said, I'm going to be sharing 1 or 2 insights with respect to acquiring in-demand skills as an undergraduate. So I don't know, can I share my screen, admin? Is it possible I can share my screen or not?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so let me do that then. Okay, while I am trying to deal with that, I was supposed to use my laptop. However, I couldn't get access to it at the moment, so I'll just use my phone directly. So, how are we all doing, undergraduates? Can I hear from you? How are you doing?
Yeah, we're doing good, sir.
So, I believe many of us would have been able to learn 1 or 2 things in our own
Yes, sir.
place. So, can someone tell me what have
Doing
you
good,
learned
sir.
so far? It's I think over 5 months now. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I say it's been over 5 months now. So, what can someone share with us? Like, what have you learned so far?
Well, personally, I've been learning an online skill.
Okay.
So for me, I've been learning
Who
bag
else? Who else? Is that? You've
Hello?
learning.
Bag making, leather bag making, plus
Oh,
upskilling my
that's
writing.
wonderful. That's wonderful. Who else? Who else is there? Who wants to talk?
Me, merciful one from ULN. Okay, I've been learning a lot since February. I learned how to drive. I took a course online. I've been writing essay contests too, doing some
Okay.
volunteering.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's great. That's great. That's great. I think I've been only female's voice. What about the guys? Are you not learning anything?
Okay,
They've
hello.
been doing Yahoo.
Hello.
Don't do Yahoo. Okay, so guys, can you say what you've been doing so far?
Hello. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. My name is Ime Victor. I'm a
Okay.
student of the University of UAE. And over time, I've been able to learn a few skills, though, an online skill in writing, creative writing, and content writing, to be precise.
Okay.
Then, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. On the other hand, I have tried to improve my barbing skills. I do barb, but I just wanted to make myself more perfect in the stuff. So I think that's what I've been learning over time for the time being in this ASU strike.
Oh, that's wonderful then. That's very wonderful. Who wants to
Thank
talk?
Can I talk?
Good. Can you hear me? Hello. Can you hear me? Hello. Hello.
We can hear you.
Yes, why is the host? Okay. Mike.
Hello. Are you out there?
Yeah, we are. I'm here.
Yes,
Hello, I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay. At this point, I guess at this point, we've all tried. So we are going to be proceeding from here on. Can everybody see my screen?
Sure. It's showing. Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So at any point, if you can't hear me at any point, just do well to just speak up, so I can probably take a step back. So, like my presentation pointed out, it said acquiring in-demand skills as an undergraduate, and so I'll be talking basically on that. And I'm glad to hear that many of you have started acquiring skills, one skill or the other, while you have been on strike. And I hope definitely before the strike, some people would have acquired 1 or 2 skills. So it's very, very good. It's a good thing that you are doing. And I really appreciate Mr. Victor talking about the fact that school is not scam. Yeah, school is never a scam. That's the truth. It's when you've graduated that you know that school is not scam. For instance, why some people tend to think about school being scam, they tend to, make the mistake of not taking the academics serious. So they tend to make that mistake. And when they make that mistake, on the long run, the grades start to dwindle. Their grades start dropping. And on the long run, they tend to graduate with bad grades. So when they now get out into the labor market, that's when they now find out that, oh, I should have graduated with a better grade. I should have graduated with an outstanding grade. There are some people that would have graduated, and on the long run, they will find out that they graduated with a grade that is lesser than their capacity. So those are the errors, the issues with having such mentality that school is a scam. School is never a scam because of the fact that school tends to give you so much opportunity that you won't get outside school. For instance, a farmer, I believe everyone can hear me.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We
Sure.
can
We
hear
can hear you,
you.
sir. We can hear you, sir.
Okay. For instance, a farmer can start a farming business and make money, and definitely he can become a very wealthy person. But to be sincere with you, do you know that the person that can ever be the wealthiest is somebody that goes to school? For instance, let's take a look at it. Look at the world richest men. Is there anybody on the world richest men list that didn't go to school? They all went to school. Forget about the fact that people will be telling you that some people dropped out. All those dropped out. But go and check their storylines again. You find out that they either went to a business school. Probably you wanted to start a tech startup, and you found out that okay, in the university maybe they were not giving you what you needed, and some of them dropped out. On the long run, you find out that many of them still went back to school, probably after they've established their business. They still went back to school, telling you that school is important. So those notion of school is a scam is very, very dangerous. You must do your best to move yourself away from such notion. That will pay you on the long run. So back to our topic, acquiring in-demand skills as an undergraduate. So in-demand skills basically are skills that skills that are on demand out there. So what are the skills that people want you to have at this particular point that makes you versatile, that makes you productive, that makes you available for jobs? So that's what we're talking about right away. But before that, I wrote here, I said tech, the new peer pressure. Tech, the new peer pressure. I believe we must have known of what's going on now. The frenzy of you have to, enter into tech. You have to pick up one skill or the other in tech. I'm always sincere with you. That's the new tech. That's the new peer pressure. In the past, the peer pressure has always been, this one I will say, okay, you followed some group of guys, they influenced you, and you started smoking. Other forms of peer pressures are there. They will say some people join cultism and many others. But now these days, the peer pressure that is out there now is to make money. I believe we must have noticed that how that the G boys, the people that are doing scam here and there, they are making so much money and they are trying to make us feel like we are not making enough. So at the particular point, for people that doesn't want to do, people that don't want to go into scam, then the first thing everybody wants to do is now tech. So I had to target here tech, the new peer pressure, because of how tech has taken so many people from their normal self to a state of pressurizing yourself. You that used to live your life in peace normally, but because of you are seeing a friend that is into coding, the guy is doing very, very well. He's making a lot of money. You start pressuring yourself. Like, no, I need to go into tech. Now that's what tech does to us when you allow that pressure gets to you. So in this place, I wrote fear of missing out. Fear of missing out. Now, this particular term is used very, very well by those into investment. Is anybody into investment here, like crypto, forex?
Yeah.
Yes, oh, yes.
Yeah. So some of you would have heard of FOMO, right? FOMO. MO.
Yes, I've heard of FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah, can you tell me what it implies? What does it imply? Like, what's FOMO about? Please, everybody, pay attention.
Fear fear of missing out implies that it implies that you rush into a particular venture because you're afraid that if the venture does well, then you will not profit from it. So because of that fear of not taking future profits, you just jump into that project or you jump into that venture. And I don't know, most of the time usually ends up doing badly because it was your motivation to go into that project was inspired by fear. So that's what it implies.
Oh, thank you very much. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you very much. So fear of missing out is
Okay, I have
like
another.
you're going. Hello, somebody saying something.
Yeah, I wanted to drop something.
Yeah,
Fear of missing
you can
out.
speak.
Okay, fear of missing out is, let's take for instance youths. You see them always on social media. Why? Because they are afraid that they don't know the latest trend. So you see someone online 247 scrolling from Facebook to Twitter to Instagram because he's afraid that he won't be
Yeah,
a
beautiful.
trending guy.
Yeah, beautiful. You know, the issues of you are not sociable, you don't even know what's going on, and many other things like that. They are still numerous, where you just tend to pressure yourself because everybody's doing it, then I have to do it. Now, that
Yeah.
FOMO, like the first speaker said, that FOMO tends to put us in a problem that you begin to make decisions with your emotions. You know, you begin to make decisions with your emotions. You won't consider factors that you want to have considered before going to a particular thing. For instance, now, like the first speaker said and the second speaker said, you know, for someone that is addicted to social media, you know, probably normally you're supposed to be studying, or normally you're supposed to be working on a particular project, but because of the fact that you are so glued to Twitter, there are some of us here that are so glued to Twitter, you'll be like, oh, my whole day, I must spend it on Twitter. Or some people on even Instagram. You go there and you check as many, you know, pictures as possible. Then you start thinking of how to share your own pictures as well. So when you're so glued to these stuff, it tends to make you spend more time, more quality time on things that are not as important than on things that are important. Are we together?
Yes.
Okay, so that would
Yes.
mean that so when you fall into this trap of FOMO, you tend to make decisions with your emotions, and that will also take us to the next slide. Let me go to the next slide. I said subjective versus objective thinking. Subjective thinking is just like you are making idealistic thinking. Oh, because of you're hopeful. Let me put it that way. You are hopeful about something. You didn't consider factors that can affect it. For instance, okay, somebody comes to you and you say, okay, come and buy Bitcoin. And the reason why you're going to buy Bitcoin is because of the fact that Bitcoin is rising. It is rising. No, it is rising. No, I'm going to miss out. It is rising. I won't make money. It is rising. Then, based on that, you rush into buying Bitcoin. On the long run, Bitcoin begin to drop. You start being afraid again. It's dropping. I'm going to lose money. Before you know it, you got to remove your money. That's subjective thinking. You're allowing emotions to control your logical reasoning. Objective thinking is when you're now being logical about something. Okay, if I'm going to go into Bitcoin, should I go into Bitcoin with all my money? Should I go into Bitcoin because everybody's going into Bitcoin? Okay, let's say I'm to go into Bitcoin. Should I go into Bitcoin when it is rising, or I should go into Bitcoin when it's at the lowest price possible? So that's objective thinking. Objective thinking makes you to sit down and analyze. You look at the problems, you look at the solutions. You will now look at, okay, what are the factors that can affect both the problems and the solutions before going into a particular thing? So in this place, I said, are your decisions driven by emotions? Those are the first question you need to ask. Oh, am I doing this thing because my friend is doing it? Am I doing it because of this guy in my department? The guy is making a lot of money. For instance, personally, when she was reading my profile, she would have mentioned the fact that I've acquired so many in-demand skills in the past. But currently, I'm currently serving. And as I'm serving, I'm not working for anybody. In the past, I used to work remotely for some company. I worked as a data analyst. I worked as a website developer and many other skills. I worked as a research writer. So, but on the long run now, I'm not doing anything. Why? Because I found out that me doing many of these skills was because of the fact that many other people were doing it. And yes, I made money. For sure, I made money. But come to think about it, should you make money over what suits you? That's the first question. Some people will tell you that some people will tell you that, well, provided money is being made, you should do it. You should do it. Let me tell you something. At some particular point, you break down. That's the truth. At some particular point, what will you do? You will break down. When you begin to make decisions based on my friend is doing it, my friend, my colleague is doing it. So another question here is: are you doing what's best for you? Are you doing what's best for you? Are you doing what you want to do, or you are doing what everybody is doing? That's why in that first slide I put it there. I said take the new what, the new peer pressure, because at this particular point, everybody just feels like, oh, see, everybody's going to tech. I have to go into tech. I have to acquire programming skills. I have to. But the truth of the matter is this: it's not everybody that can acquire these skills and enjoy them. That's the truth of the matter. There are two sets of people. Now, the first one is those that can acquire these skills and enjoy what they are doing. The second one is those that can acquire. When I say can, notice the word can. It's not those that will. Those that can acquire. That means you have um the capacity, like the intelligence to understand this skill and use it. So that's another set of people again. Those can acquire the skill, but they are not enjoying what they are doing. And the third set of people, those that find it difficult to acquire the skill, but they want to acquire it. I believe those are three classes of people. The ones that are, first of all, they can acquire it and they are enjoying what they're doing. Secondly, you can do it, but you know you are not going to enjoy it. Thirdly, you cannot do it, but you are forcing yourself to do it. Now, these two group of people that I just mentioned after the first one, they are the ones that are forcing themselves to please the crowd. You know, is it because of my friend on LinkedIn posted about the fact that he learned a digital marketing skill, and he posted on LinkedIn, 1,000 people like this. You start feeling bad about the fact that you don't have a skill. You'll be like, oh, Tayo has gotten his skill, and so many people has even encouraged Tayo on LinkedIn. I think I need to go and get mine as well. No, do not allow subjective mentality to weigh you down. That's number one. Do not allow subjective mentality to weigh you down. And I would say, is your mentor hard on you? That's a very important. Who is your mentor? There should be somebody that can encourage you when you are down and support you when you're up. You shouldn't choose somebody that will put pressure on you. Not put much pressure on you. It can be devastating on the long run. There's a reason I'm saying this. So it's only that because let me see, for instance, the convener of this program now, Mr. Mike Shikoni, let us see, Mr. Mike Shikoni is doing so many things in school, and because of the way he's doing so many things in school, and he's your mentor, so you want to start doing everything in school. It can be very, very dangerous. It can be very, very dangerous. Be careful about making subjective thinking and start making objective ones. Start making logical thinking. Start planning what you want to do. So that's the next slide, which says choosing what to do. Choosing what to do. So now that we have seen that we shouldn't be moved by emotion. We shouldn't be moved by the fact that okay, somebody is doing fine in tech, then I have to go into tech. So now we now have to think about okay, now I want to choose what to do. So in this particular place, I placed there are 3 prompts here. I said consider your areas of strength. This is very important. Now, in tech, there are people, like I said in my classification, there are some people that they can do it and they would enjoy it. Now, secondly, there are some people that can do it but won't enjoy it. Now, those that do it, that's the area of strength. But if they don't enjoy it, the reason I'm saying this is because, for instance, I'll use myself as an example. When I used to be a website developer, I found coding very easy. This programming of a thing, I found it very easy. Since 2015, 2015 up to 2021, I learned multiple programming languages. Then at some point I could several languages proficiently. So you just bring it, develop. Is it to develop games? Is it to develop websites? Is it for machine learning, data analysis, and the rest of them? So, but I found out that while I was even working remotely, I just found out that I was not really enjoying what I was doing. Despite the fact that I understood how to code very, very well, I was not enjoying what I would do. Why? Because number one, I'm somebody that likes to, enjoy myself. I just like to, just go out to have a pastime. I like to go visit friends. I like to do 1 or 2 things during the course of the day. I like to read books. You get? So I like my time to myself. So I found out that while I was taking so much of my time, I stay inside the house for morning till night and code, try to debug 1 or 2 things, and on the my day is gone already. Then at some point, I didn't touch from my friends. My friends are out there and I can't contact them because of the fact that I'm always, coding. So I found out that it was not something that I was enjoying. Are we together?
Yes.
Everyone there.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes,
I will pick one or two things.
of
definitely.
course, sir.
Definitely, sir.
I can't
Yes,
hear
sir.
you clearly, sir.
Oh, you can hear me. Oh, I guess it's the network. I'm very sorry about that. Over now. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, that's
Yes, we
very good.
can.
So I said consider what you enjoy doing. So despite the fact that I know how to code, does coding do I enjoy coding? That is another question. Do I enjoy coding? For instance, what I'm doing now, I'm a research writer. But that's what I do now. I found out that okay, among my areas of strength, I can code. Yes, I can program. Okay. Then I love to read books. Okay. Another of my area of strength is I like to write. Now, these are all the things I like doing. Another thing again I like doing is I like to eat food, good food. So these are my areas of strength. Now, which of them do I enjoy doing? That's what I will now consider. Okay, I know how to code, but I don't enjoy sitting down for so long and coding. Okay, I know how to write, but I enjoy sitting down to write for long. So which of them should I consider? Definitely, I should consider the second one because it is my area of strength and I enjoy doing it. So these are you tend to choose a skill. You don't choose a skill based on now the third prompt says way fund versus money. See, be careful choosing a skill because of you want to make money. At a particular point, you will just I won't say you will give up, but majority of people that go into any skill because of money, they tend to give up on the long run. That's it. You just get fed up. You don't feel like I'm not enjoying what I'm doing. Then on the long run, you see you are resigning. And that won't be our case as we move forward. So that's why we are doing this webinar. So we won't just go into a particular skill because it is popular, it is making a lot of money. For instance, a friend of mine is a programmer. We started programming together back then, and now he's working for a bank and he makes I think approximately 1 million naira per month as his salary, and he works remotely. Now I have another friend. I have numerous of them because I was as a programmer, I also make programming. There are many of them 700,000 naira every month. But me personally, when we started together and I was earning as much as 200,000 naira, 100,000 naira. At some particular point, while we were moving together, I think at some point I was a mentor to some of them because I learned how to code very, very fast. Any language, I'll pick it up. But at some particular point, they just found out that I was not just interested again. They were like, why? I said, I don't have time for myself. So definitely, it means I have to engage and we don't know access money. That's very, very important. Don't just take skill because you want money. So don't take to acquiring skills now. So different type of skills you can acquire. But in this particular slide, it says acquiring course-based skills. Okay, every year is an undergraduate, and I believe as undergraduates you are doing one or two things that's related to academics. So in that case, there are some skills you can acquire in that direction. And above this, I say related to course. So you can acquire a course-based skill that you know you enjoy doing. For example, we have research writing. Research writing is a course-based skill. So probably you're studying history. You can go into research writing if you like research writing. So another skill again is book review. It's a course-based skill. You can where people tend to write articles and paste there. There are some situations whereby some people write a book in your field, like a textbook in your field, and they'll be looking for people that want to review the book. Those are skills you can acquire. And as time goes on, you tend to put them in your CV that, okay, you serve as a book reviewer for an association, you serve as a book reviewer for a writer, and the rest of them. Another skill you can see is statistical analysis, where you tend to use to analyze information. Where you tend to use use some particular softwares to analyze things with respect to your field. And another one again is professional design, such as computer-aided designs. Solid work. Some people might have learned Autodesk products such as Inventor, AutoCAD, and the rest of them. So these are course-based skills. You have to work your field and know, okay, this is my field. I enjoy what I'm doing. What kind of skill can I acquire in this field that is going to be profitable to me? So, for instance, personally, I found out that I like writing. Then I decided that okay, in my field, can I start writing? Then I started looking for things to write. I started reading people's work in my field. Then at some particular point, I started writing. So the moment I started writing, as time went on, as time went on, that started pasting articles in different journals, pasting articles in different websites. You know, some professors and some professionals in that area will tend to they'll be drawn to you. Be like, oh, it seems like this person writes. They contact you and ask you, oh, you seem like you write. Okay, since you write for us, okay, we're going to go. Will you be willing to write with us? And so at that particular point, you know, when a professor from the United Kingdom or a professor from USA contacts you about research writing, definitely you know the kind of pay you're going to be getting is going to be huge. So these are skills you can acquire. So you look at your field and know, okay, what kind of skill is going to be useful in my field? Some people probably are in the chemistry department. It might be that, okay, you need to learn how to use a spectrometer. You need to learn how to use some particular devices in your field that on a normal day in your university, maybe you're supposed to use in your university, but because of the fact that there's lack of facility, you know, now schools are on strike, you don't even have access to some of these stuff. There's lack of facility. You can check online for those kind of skills. Say, okay, I want to learn how to use a spectrometer. And if you know how to use a spectrometer very well, I can tell you, if I show some stuff on LinkedIn where people will tell you they're looking for, you see some professors post it on LinkedIn, you see we're looking for somebody that will work with us that has this skill. And definitely if you have that skill, they will pick you. So these are productive skills. So you can do it to search in your area of your course of study and find skills that are useful. Another okay, let me go to the next slide. Okay, so I said acquiring course-based skills now. So how do you acquire these skills? One of the ways you can acquire these skills is by, you know, taking MOOCs that teaches practical skills, enough of theories. Now, what you're looking for is skill. You don't need to go and you don't need theory now. What you're looking for is skill. How can you apply this in school? What is new? What is new that I can learn? Do one or two things that can make me stand out. What means online, massive online open courses. So when you go to Coursera, you see some you are not looking for an extra course that will teach you something you have learned. Please do that. No problem with that. But when you're looking for course-based skills, you look for a skill in particular. For instance,
if I'm your voice is cracking.
My voice is cracking. No, I'm very sorry. What about now? Hello, can we all hear me?
Yes, I can.
I hear you now.
Okay, so I can move on, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, sir. Move on.
Okay, so I said, so one of the ways you can acquire practical skills in a particular field is taking MOOCs online. Now, like I said it's not necessary that you are learning a theoretical course. For instance, now you can go online, you see fundamentals of chemistry, and you will learn about fundamentals of chemistry. No problem with that. But in this particular case, you're looking for a skill, a practical skill. So what you should do is this time around, you're not looking for fundamentals of chemistry. You are looking for equipment. You have instruments in fundamental chemistry. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this time around, you're looking for practical knowledge. Okay, is it possible? Can I learn about lab work from this website? When I visit the website, okay, will they teach me how to do titration? If they will teach you how to do titration, that's what you need. You get so that special skill that will make you stand out in your field. That's what you're looking for. You're not looking for theoretical knowledge now. Another way you can acquire this is by joining international association as a student. You know, for instance, if you check my profile on LinkedIn, you find out that I'm a member of so many international organizations for my particular course of study. Because why did I join them? I found out that some of them tend to give you free tickets. For instance, those that are in petroleum engineering here now, you might have heard of AAPG. Who is in petroleum engineering? Anybody here? Okay, I think petroleum engineering, somebody is. Oh, you're in petroleum engineering. Hello? Okay, I guess I should move on then. Seems like there's nobody available to tell us about that. Who is in okay, I guess many of us here are medical students, health related courses and the rest of them. So there are so many associations that are out there, international association. I'm not talking about Nigerian association. No.
So
Nigerian
I can't hear you.
Hello?
So we can't hear you.
Hello.
Can hear you, sir. Yeah, I guess it's from my end. Yeah, you're audible enough.
Oh, I guess it's maybe network from different places. You know, you are all scattered.
Yeah, yes, I think so, sir. I hear you very well.
Okay. Since the they are recording the screen, I guess they'll make the videos available, Abby. Convener.
Sir, the videos will be made available, sir.
So I'm
Okay,
not
that's very good.
hearing you.
I guess it's your network. It's your network. Can you just try and move away from where you are? Go
So I'm
somewhere
not
else.
hearing.
Go somewhere else. Go somewhere
If
else.
you
Some
can't
people are
hear
hearing, some
him,
people are
if
not.
you can't hear, please just change position. We can hear you perfectly, sir. If you can't hear, just change
Change
position,
position,
please.
please. If you can't hear me, change position. Change position, please. I guess it's the network in your locality. Okay, so if you're not hearing me, please change your location. Try to move away. Is your network over there? Is that okay?
All right, sir. All right, sir. We can hear you, sir. Continue, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. All right. So I said join international organizations. For instance, I'm a member of American Society of Agricultural and Biological Engineers. And when I joined that association as a student, I think I got access to, to specialized library. Like some information I won't see outside. I was getting access to them directly. That's my course of study. Then at some particular point, there were free tickets to go and attend conference abroad. When you attend the conference abroad, it gives you this international profile. There's a way you speak in a particular place that people will give you attention. They'll feel like, oh, this person has gone out of Nigeria to represent this association. So another thing again is it gives you access to professors. That from professors that you send message on LinkedIn, they will not answer you. But when they see that you're a member of this association, they'll give you attention. Are we together? So these are ways you can acquire this skill. How that as a member of this association, you can send a message to a member of the association that is a professor and tell the man, oh, sir, I noticed that you did a research in this area and you use certain instruments. Please, sir, would you have time to lecture me on this particular skill? If the man says yes, you should do a meeting with him on Google Meet, and the man will explain what he did in his. So these are ways to acquire practical skills in your field. Another thing again is to find someone that is skillful in your field. The person might not be skillful academically. Like I said I'm not looking for what academic skills back what you have read. No, I'm looking for skills, somebody that knows how to do it practically. So look for somebody that tries to learn from the person. The person might be a junior colleague, for instance. For instance, now in those in statistical fields like mathematics, those in engineering, it might be that even in those in health-related skills where you have to acquire data, you gather data together and you analyze. Okay, let's just say people are sick in a particular environment. They'll say we're analyzing COVID-19 data and the rest of them. Somebody in 100 level might know how to do that data analysis very well than you that are in 500 level. And you know that this guy is really good at analyzing data. You can reach out to him. Oh, guy, I noticed you know how to do this thing very well. Can you please explain the fundamentals? And if you can't explain, if you don't have the time to explain, you can give me materials that can make me go and, learn this skill as well. So another way again is to apply for internships. So you can see internships out there in a particular course-based, you can apply for them and luckily you can get them. But usually they're always very competitive because some internships are always, worldwide. So as a Nigerian, if you're going to beat people from India, people from China, you're going to beat people from UK, you have to ensure that you have soiled yourself deeply in that skill very, very well before you get internship. So another thing again is to seek for certificates of achievement. So if you see opportunities to seek for certificates, do well to acquire them. Let me go to the next slide. Okay, so the next slide, I said acquiring in-demand skill. Now, these are skills outside your course of study. And some of them include software development, article writing, digital analysis, data analysis, digital marketing, and the rest of them. Somebody who noticed what I wrote on the fourth number? I wrote watching movies. Can we all see that? Watching movies.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I can.
Do you know that watching
I can
movies
see it.
is also a skill?
Yes. Wow.
Oh, I don't,
Yes,
sir.
Yes, I think it's a skill.
Okay, can you tell us about what you know about watching movies?
About watching movies is if you
Yes,
can watch
sir.
movies critically. Like for every
Exactly.
movie that comes out, there are ratings for its Rotten Tomato ratings and IMDb ratings. So if you can watch those movies critically and analyze them, I think it's an in-demand skill.
Yeah, so you can see that. So those of you that like watching, I love movies. You can turn that into monetary. But as a Nigerian, they don't tend to trust us sometimes too. But over the years, you can get yourself connected with some people that does those kind of things online, and you two, you start watching movies critically. It's not the one that you'll be watching movie. You don't know that Spider-Man was flying. No, you watch the movie. You pay attention to what you are watching. Are we together? Yes, now. There's some you would have
Yes,
noticed
sir.
there's some times that you watch it, you will see a film, and at the end of the movie, somebody is not telling you that. Do you notice that there was a watch behind Spider-Man? You're like, watch, okay? Where is the watch? You now have to go and start scrolling back to look for where the watch is. Abby?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so those are so you have to, if you are going to be watching movies, you're going to be watching it critically. So another is gaming. There's definitely more guys who know about gaming. The one that who plays COD here? Anybody? COD?
We are here.
No. Well, okay, I know about it.
So some people, those that play COD, I know they are here. There are some guys here that, in fact, there are some ladies I met COD. Like, what's the full meaning of the game?
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, Call of Duty. So you would have noticed some guys, they can spend, there's a friend of mine that spends 12 hours daily playing COD, Call of Duty. But how does he make money from it? I don't know if he makes money from it, but I know he does a lot of competition and he focuses on it for so long. So you can make an earning from those kind of skills. So there are many other skills that are out there. The reason why I have to mention this one is so that you can remove your eyes away from tech. Tech is not the only thing you can learn. No. Don't come be pressuring yourself. Yeah, they say that okay, they are learning program. You want to go and learn program, you can get frustrated. Are we together? You can get frustrated. Programming is not what you will just wake up today and say you want to learn. Programming is not what you just wake up and say you need time, you need devotion, you need to sit down, you need to think. That's programming. And despite even having all this capability, you need to enjoy what you are doing, because it's not everybody that enjoy looking at the screen and seeing numbers. It's everybody that enjoy looking at the screen and you're just seeing comma, you are seeing question mark, you are seeing column. It can be very boring. That's the truth. It can be very boring. So don't go and put yourself into something you will not enjoy. You now say after 6 months, you now say, oh, it does not work for me. It was never going to work for you because it's not something you are going to enjoy. So look for something you like doing. You like writing. Go and look for where to start writing. Whether to be a content developer. You like watching movie. You like sports. Probably you like sports so much. You can go into sports. Maybe you can become a referee. You can go into basketball. You can go into table tennis and start watching table tennis games. Start participating online and the rest of them. So there are many other skills out there. So let me go to the next. Okay, how to acquire these skills? Take online or physical tutorials and trainings on that particular skill. It requires that you pay. Do well to pay. So there are some skills that you might need to pay. Probably you get a tutor that can teach you a particular skill and you can pay for it. You can do well and pay. Another thing is to seek for internships. So internships are specialized training in a particular area. Probably you want to become a machine learning engineer. So you can seek for internships out there. But before you start seeking for internship, do well to learn something in that area. Because somebody will give you internship and will say want to train you from beginning to the end. So internship providers, they tend to see that they would have seen that, this person already has the fundamental skills in this area. This person can do one or two things. Then they'll not try to train you further. And that thing again is to participate in competition. Competitions are very important for in-demand skills. So if you are the one that like drawing, start participating in the arts competition. If you are the one that like programming, start participating in hackathon. If you are the one that is into machine learning, there's Kaggle there. Kaggle is an online platform for competition, for hackathon and for machine learning competitions. So there are many ways to get competition. Start getting yourself involved. You like writing. Start getting yourself involved in essay writings. These are things that will help sharpen your skills. And again, you don't need a certificate for this skill. You don't need a certificate. You must have been before Donald Trump left the presidency. I think that was in 2021. There was a bill he signed then that does not require someone going to the university to get some jobs that does require your skill to work. There's some kind of jobs that are like that. For instance, as a programmer, the jobs I did as a programmer, I didn't submit any certificates. Are we together? Neither did I submit any CV. All they needed from me was, can you do it? That's what they needed from me. And when they saw that, this guy is really good at programming, they'll give you a task and you have done it. They don't even need any other thing from you. You start earning huge. Are we together?
Wow.
So you don't need a certificate to show for your knowledge. Most of them, when it comes, you need to know how to do it and show them that you can do it. For instance, a friend of mine, he traveled abroad last year, September. He was a software engineer in Nigeria while we were undergraduates. And the moment he graduated, the company abroad took him in straight up. So he's now working for them in UK. And I think he earns around £4,000 per month. So he's just, he did not show them any certificate though. He don't show them that he knows how to program. So you don't really need a certificate to show for what you can do. So how do you improve your skill? Work for free. That's number one. Work for what? For free. So some people, you just got to learn how to design and study like people. You won't improve because it's not everybody wants an amateur. Are we together?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what should you do? Work for free. What you should do is to work for free. Look for opportunities to render your service for free. Don't go and start looking for money immediately. For instance, you just started designing, graphics designing, and you're already posting and you already built a flyer. Some people can be very funny. You just started learning graphic design 2 weeks ago because you already know how to draw boxes. You know how to put color. You now start you know your flyer. Please contact me for your designs. Contact me for your designs. I charge £1,000 per hour. You won't improve. I'll together.
Sorry, draw color box haba.
What did you say? Hello, someone said something. I didn't hear you. Okay, like I was saying. Okay. So as I was saying, I said work for free. So you can work for free in your probably a fellowship somebody. You can work for free in your fellowship. You don't start learning graphic designs. You can start designing flyers for your fellowship for free. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Another way to work for free again is that, okay, let's say for instance you learned a particular skill in your department online, or how to use a vernier caliper. You can go to your laboratory and decide to work with the laboratory technician there. You tell the man, sir, I learned how to use this. I learned how to do this online. Oh. Would you like me to, come around and be working with you? That's volunteering. And you'll be giving the man your salary free. In that process, you are training yourself. You are learning on the job. Are we together? You are learning on the job.
Yes, sir.
So this kind of thing make you very, very smart. You will know your mistakes easily. You know when you not to improve. You know that you have learned skill very well, or you have not learned it very well. So another thing again is to ask for appraisers and critical opinions from your colleagues, not your friend. You design the banner, you not send it to your best friend that creates the thing. He won't tell you the truth. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Tell you the truth. Your best friend will rather tell you, you say you did a beautiful job, man. You did a beautiful job. This is wonderful. Then, yes, now, and you not start feeling like, oh, what I've done is nice. What I've done is nice. You not sit down. You'll be complacent. You won't even improve. Are we together? So ask for appraisals from their colleagues. They are not your friends. Somebody that, okay, how is my work? The person will tell you that, oh, you improve. Are we together? So then, after their remarks, work on yourself again. That's very important. You do what? You work on yourself again. Then also along the line, when you're improving, you search for jobs. If you've improved very well, search for jobs and attend interview. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid because your job is because you learned only a fragment on 3 months. Then because you use 3 months, you're afraid of applying for a job. Apply for a job. When they interview you, they will ask you, okay, how long have you been on this job, on this skill? You tell them, I've been on this skill for 3 months. They'll say, okay, but we expected that, we needed somebody with 1 year experience. You say, yes, you know that it's 1 year experience, but you know that you are confident that you can do it. And they can give you an exercise and you do it. If you are good, they might pick you. If you are not good, they might not pick you. There's no problem. There's no problem with failing. Are we together? But from the interview, you would have learned what you need to improve. And another thing again from the interview is that you have built confidence from that interview. From some interviews, when you attend those interviews, they will tell you that, okay, who we are looking for is not you, but we want you to serve as an intern with us because of your motivation. So these are the ways you can improve your skill. I could remember some time ago, I applied for, when I wanted to do my IT, I saw an opening somewhere. So I went there. Then the man asked me, he said, okay, submit your CV. He checked my CV and he saw what is there. He said he needed AutoCAD skill then. That was in 2018. No, that was in 2019. AutoCAD skill. And the man saw it and the man was like, oh, build this stuff for us. And I started building it. And later on, the man was like, okay, how long are you going to be with us? And I told the man, I said, I wanted to do IT. The man was, I was like, oh, he said, they're looking for someone that wants to do IT. Now they're looking for somebody that will be there full time. And I was like, I can't be here for full time. I have to go back to school. And the man offered that, okay, that assuming they had somebody in that space already, that would have allowed me to be an intern in their company under that person. So you can always, shoot your shots. Don't be afraid of shooting shots. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
So I believe at this particular point, we have gotten to the end of my
Thank
slides.
you, sir.
I want to apologize for taking your time. I just need to, explain as much as I can.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Okay.
you. That was really.
Thanks so much, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thanks so much, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Alright. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. From my end here.
I want to say thank you so much to Mr. Kinney. This session was so amazing. Perfect. I learned a lot. My jotter is even full. Right now, we're having the opportunity to ask questions. If you have a question, you can raise your hand or use the chat box to ask your question. You can ask your questions and you can also share your experience, your motivation. Okay, Grace, let's hear you. You can use the chat box if you can't use your mic. Who's going first? Okay, Grace, unmute your mic and ask your question.
She has sent a message already.
Hello, good evening. Please, let's not waste time on this, please. When is the session ending, please?
Okay. Okay, so your question is, what if I want to learn a skill and my parents are not really in support of? That's your question, right? Mr. Kinney, you will help us answer the question.
Okay, on that particular question, the first question is, what do your parents want? That's the first question. Do they want you to learn one particular thing that is different from what you want to learn? Or they just want you not to learn that particular skill? Because at this generation that we find ourselves, as much as we like to respect our parents' opinion, it's always important that we respect our own opinions as well. Because it's not your parents that's going to be there for you in the future. Are we together? Your parents will be there for you later on in the future. So it's what you want to do that is always going to pay you on the long run. But another thing again is that you have to consider why. Why do your parents want you to study a particular skill? And why do your parents want you not to study a particular skill? That's the first question. Then what I used to do and what I encourage my friends to do is that most of the time when such arises, you have to sit your parents down. Very important. Many of us, most of the time, we always shy of facing our parents, our dad, face to face, eye to eye, or calling for a family meeting. I've called for several family meetings. So if I want to do something and I see that, okay, some members of my family are not in support, then I will call everybody. Oh yeah, gather. Then we will sit down. I will tell my mom, sit down, my brother, sit down, my younger one, sit down, my dad, sit down. Okay, at this particular point, you guys do not want me to acquire this skill. Why do you want me not to acquire it? Then everybody will give their opinion, and your whole house will agree on whether you should acquire it or not. And you give your own point of view that, sir, this is the reason why I want this skill. And this skill is pointing me towards where I want to belong. This skill is what's going to make me achieve what I want to achieve with my life. So you have to sit them down and make them understand. Like, I'm not saying that you send them chat, you're not sending them chat, you will call for a meeting in your house. Okay, dad, mom, I want to see you. The other ones, everybody will sit down. I have a question and I want it to be answered. Then you talk about, you speak about it, and you trash that in that particular meeting. Are we together? So those are ways to settle things like that. Because in this generation, we found ourselves. Your parents cannot be choosing for you again. No. It's what works for you. Are we together? It's what works for you. If I want to be a gamer and it's gaming that's going to pay me, because my dad does not like gaming, does not mean I will stop gaming. I have to make my dad understand that this gaming I am doing is paying people money than what he wants me to do. Are we together? And I have to prove him wrong about it. Hope we are together.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's very, very important.
Yes,
so
sir.
you have to, ensure you hold the meeting with your parents and try to find out why they don't want you to learn it, and then give them reasons why you want to learn it. So that's okay. So
Okay,
any other
sir.
question?
Thank you, sir. I think that there's another question. Someone is asking, how do I join international organizations? Because when you were talking, you were part of several international organizations.
Yeah. See, the beautiful thing is that it's one of the easiest thing to do. In fact, I applied for one some days ago. This one is an association that goes with my field as well. International association is one of the easiest thing to do. See, whites are so beautiful to work with. If you send them mail now, they'll reply your mail. So what you just need to do is that thing you want to work on. For instance, let us say, like me now, I am an agricultural and environmental engineer. Then what I do is this: I will search for specific things in my field. I can search for Association of Agricultural Engineers, USA, Association of Agricultural Engineers, Europe, Association of Agricultural Engineers, China. You see many will pop up. Then I will not check each of those websites. Which of them is really popular? Which of them is very active? And also, which of them will give me free registration? That's very important. Free registration as a student. Are we together? Free registration as a student. So when you see the ones that will tell you that, okay, student membership is free, then you join straight up. You join them. And when you join them, they'll start sending you mails of their events, of conference, of plans. For instance, I would have shared my screen on one that I just applied for. Okay, let me share. Can I share my screen?
You can.
Okay, let me I will show you. I will show you my mail. There is one I just finished with. Okay. Just observe my screen. Let me go to my mailbox. So you is always just go online, search for them. Your mail study, search for a student. Can student register? If student can register. Is student free? Apply. If student is not free, send them a mail. Look for somebody's mail on that website, the admin's mail. Then what do? When you look for the admin's mail, you send the admin a mail asking that, okay, I'm a student from Nigeria. I would like to join your association. But it seems like I can't see student arm. Or it also seems like I would need to pay. Is it possible that you waive the payment for me because I can't afford it? And the person will reply you, there's no sin in rejecting your offer. Are we together?
Yeah, we are together.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me check for. I want to look for. Okay. Look at this one I'm opening. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
See what it says? It says call for instructors for the new Canadian edition of a particular course. So this particular course now, I'm having access to it because I'm a member of this organization, SWANA.
Stop bringing that.
Eh?
Yeah, we can see it. You can see it.
So you can see SWANA, Solid Waste Association
Yes.
of North America. So because I'm a member of Swana, I was given access to register to this program for free. Register today, and that's it. And I have access to this.
I can't hear him.
Are you with us?
Me too, I can't hear anything.
Sorry. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, with you,
Hello?
sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it's also possible that an association that is abroad, they might not have a student arm in Nigeria. And you as an agent of change can bring the association to Nigeria. So it can be that maybe Association of Psychological Students
So we're
in
hearing you.
America. You are hearing me, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
sir.
So Association of Psychological Students in USA, they can have a student arm in different countries that is not in Nigeria. And because of you have joined the association, you can decide to start the association in your university. And before you know it, because you start becoming a reputable somebody in that line. So those are ways to join associations. So is there any further question?
Sir, I was about to ask a question, but you've answered it indirectly. Thank you, sir.
Oh, no problem.
Okay, yes, I will just take one more question.
Okay.
There's this obsession about tech recently. It seems without tech skills, one may not be able to make a living tomorrow. What advice do you have for people who are not interested in tech?
If you are not interested in tech, like I said in one of my slides, I mentioned the fact that you know what you like doing. That's number one. What are the things you like doing? Do you like gaming? Do you like writing? Then if you like those particular things, you have to find a way to generate money from them by making research. You go online. Okay, Writers Hub online. You look for Writers Hub. You look for where you can write and get paid. And as time goes on, if you know one thing about professions is that profession is as a result of, you make more money as a result of time. So if you are experienced in something, people will tend to pay you more money. So if you start writing here, writing there, there will be a time where you start earning like somebody in tech. And it's not so necessary that you have to earn as much as somebody in tech. That's another thing. For instance, I got a job offer some days ago as a tutor, a maths tutor. And as that maths tutor, the offer that was attached to that job was 250,000 naira. And I will not be teaching physically. I'll be teaching from a distance. I want to get that. Just teaching what? Mathematics. From a distance. From my comfort. I want to get that. So don't feel like because of hello, what do you say?
I think she was just surprised, sir.
No, don't be surprised. I'm not trying to tell you that if you keep doing what you love doing very well and you build on
Sir,
it,
please,
as
are
you
you
come,
really
you will
sure
earn
that
as much as
250K?
possible. The reason why, hello, everybody, can you hear me? Pay attention now. Pay attention. The reason why tech is highly paid for now is because of we are in the era of tech. Are we together? We are in what? The era of what? Tech. As time goes on, in the normal map, it will go up and come down. It will come down back. It will become balanced. Are we together? So this is the era of tech. That's why things are like this. But as an archaeologist, if all you are doing is to go into a bush in Osun State and try to find out why there's River Osun, why there's Shango, and doing all those kind of stuff, I can tell you that a white man can pay you over $1,000 for that information. A white man can pay you over $1,000 for that information. For instance, there's a friend of mine that is working with a woman in Akwa Ibom. The woman came from the USA to come and do a research here in Nigeria. The guy is an anthropologist, and he's working with the woman here in Nigeria. They're trying to do some research, and the woman pays them, I think, $1,200 every month for just assisting her to look for stores in Akwa Ibom. So it's just dependent on you. It's just that you want to bother yourself on tech. You want to bother yourself on tech. It's not necessary that you have tech skill. But in this era that we found ourselves, you just need to get yourself acquainted with one or two softwares. You get what I'm trying to say? For instance, the way we are using Zoom now, somebody that doesn't know how to use Zoom, it means the person is far behind. Abi? So you must learn collaborative softwares, how to use Trello, how to use Miro, how to use Slack. You must know how to use all those stuff. They are just normal. But you don't need to go and start learning how to program. You might just be, for instance, at some particular point when I was working with some startups, what I started doing when I stopped programming, I told them I'm not programming again. Rather, I want to be the business analyst. So what I do is to strategize the business. I'll be the one to sit down and think, okay, what are we doing next? How are we going to do it? What are the plans that we need to get on ground? Who should I contact? I started doing the strategy part. I stopped doing the coding part. All together. So, for instance, in some companies now, companies like Google, companies like Microsoft, go and check it. People that are into the areas of user experience, like product development, they are not really doing programming. They earn so much. For instance, the person behind this Zoom now, how this Zoom is supposed to function, the person's work is not to listen. The person's work is not to code Zoom. Rather, the person is a psychologist that will use Zoom and tell the company that, look, the way this Zoom is not better this way. Can we adjust it this way? Can we make it more interactive? That's user experience experts. Those ones, they are not coding. Are we together? They are not coding. Rather, they just tend to read stuffs like areas of understanding human psychology. And from human psychology, they'll just get themselves involved in product departments. And product department, as time goes on, they become senior officers in the company. So those are skills, relevant skills that you don't need to take. You just need to just talk. As some people that are human resource managers, all they do is just to contact you and tell you that, okay, on behalf of our company, you will doing this. Their job again is to interview you. And they are collecting close to $1 million in big companies. But before you can get to that point, you have to have developed yourself and gain experience over the time. So that allows that skill to bother you. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that's my take on it, though.
Wow, interesting. Thank you so much, sir. I liked a few things, so I like to share. You mentioned something when you were talking about improving your skills. You said we should render our services for free. I took note.
Yeah, first of all, like the first steps you need to take is to render it for free. Work
Thank
for
you so
your
much, sir.
probably your fellowship. If you're a member of a church, work for your fellowship for free. If your friend wants to do an event, view the flyer for that person for free, design for free, make research for that person for free, and like that, keep doing things for free at the beginning. Then as time goes on, from your experience, you start becoming perfect before you start charging money. If not, nobody will patronize you. Nobody wants an amateur. Nobody will patronize somebody that just started learning a skill. But everybody will patronize somebody that will give it to them for free.
Please, can I ask a question? I know it's almost time.
Okay.
I dropped a question in the chat, but it was not attended to.
Okay. Okay, I'm listening.
For the person that is into essay writing, like I've written so many and I've not one, and it's very discouraging. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, or whether you can recommend some things.
Okay, one thing I will say again is this. Do you know that sometimes you can do things the right way and knowing it happens? So all those ones that people will tell you change your strategy. It's not every time that you need to change strategy. Your strategy might work, might be the right strategy. But there are some times that it might not just give you the output you are desiring. Are we together? So for your question now, what I would say is this. Before you start changing your strategy, first look at what you have been doing. Is it bad? That's what you need to find out. How do you know if it's bad? Send your essays to special, like people that are essay writers, professionals in that area. You can say, oh, you can contact somebody on LinkedIn. Maybe the person is a professional essay writer. You can even contact a judge in a competition that you applied for. Like let me say, for instance, let us say the competition, you applied for a competition, but you didn't win. But you know a name of a judge there. You can contact the judge that, oh, sir, I was a participant in this competition. Unlucky for me, I didn't win. But I would like you to review my essay for me. I want to know where I made mistakes and where I can improve. And the person will tell you, from his own perspective as a judge, what you need to change. Another thing again is to seek for a mentor, probably on LinkedIn or online. You might see a mentor, for instance, some time ago when I was learning Dutch, I was learning German language. So while I was, enjoying myself while learning, I started contacting some people on Facebook, some Germans, like whites. I went to their forum on Facebook where they post about the country, culture, and the rest. And I started chatting with them there. And from there, I started chatting with some people personally in their chat. And some people became my mentor. I would tell them, oh, I learned this stuff today. I would like to share it with you. And they will say, okay, let us speak. And on a particular point, they will say, okay, let us speak it in dialect, in the German language. And from there, I started building myself up. So you can get mentors. For instance, I remember that I got somebody on LinkedIn as well that decided that, okay, he was going to show me some skills in what I was doing. You can get mentors, and the person would let you know that, for instance, now you got a mentor on LinkedIn. You can contact the person, oh, you're a professional writer. And as a professional writer, I know you are skilled, that you're making money from this skill. But I will need you to nurture me because I've been trying to build myself up. I've been applying for competitions, but I've never won one. So since I've not won one, I don't know which area I've been doing bad. I will need you to, mentor me probably for a week or two. And the person has time, the person will mentor you. The person does not have time, the person will tell you, oh, I'm not available. Then you look for another person. Don't get discouraged. You keep looking for. Before you change your strategy, meet somebody that knows how to do it than you. Are we together? Do not change your strategy without somebody that knows it better than you tells you to change it. So that's very important. So that's my take on it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Share their experience, just two persons. Before our speaker leaves us, two persons. Ejikeme, you can unmute your mic and share your experience.
I think I saw a question now that says, how will a medical doctor balance his field with a skill, a different skill? It's now dependent on you. It depends on how versatile you are. If you're somebody that you can focus on multiple things together, focus on your medicine. Your medicine will give you as much money as possible. Do you know in so many countries in Europe, as a medical doctor, they tend to grant your visa in just 2 weeks. In just 2 weeks, you're out of Nigeria. Compared to others, compared to engineers might spend maybe 2 months, 3 months before they grant them visa. But as a medical doctor, you have opportunities everywhere, all over the world. They are ready to absorb you, and you are going to collect a pay that's equivalent to somebody in tech. So if you find out that your medicine that you're doing, you can't balance it with somebody with another skill, sit down with your medicine. No pressure yourself. That Mr. Banji is doing very well in tech and making 1 million naira, and you're a medical doctor, you're making 300,000 naira. Sit down with your medical doctor. As time goes on, when you become more experienced, your pay will increase to 500,000. As time goes on, your pay will increase to 700,000. Who knows, tomorrow you might leave Nigeria and become a specialist in Canada, and your pay will skyrocket. So if you can't balance, you put the skill away. But if you can balance, you pick it up. So that's what I'm going to say on that question. Okay, last question before I take my leave.
Thank you, sir. Because of time, we'll not be able to take more questions.
Okay.
We can forward the questions to you. Then we can also forward the answers to our WhatsApp group. But I would like to have your social media handle so everybody can go online and follow you. So you can just say it out, or you type it in the chat box for everyone. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. So majorly, I'm active on LinkedIn normally, but for a while now, because of research I've been doing, so I have not really been posting on LinkedIn. But I'm always going to LinkedIn every day to read posts, share ideas, and contact people. So on LinkedIn, you can just check for my name, Okoyemi Akini, and it's going to pop up. So you'll see me there. So Twitter and the rest of them, I'm not very active there, so don't bother about those ones.
Wow. Thank you so much. Wow, I'm elated. I learned so much. And I know we have a lot of experiences to share, but because of time, because of time, I would also like to stop here. Also, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. You're full of so many things. The part you talked about movies got me. Reviewing movies. I like to see movies, Sharp. I don't know if I would like to review them. But you've been so educated, and it's amazing. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Thank you for impacting us. We'll forward our remaining questions to you and also forward the answers to the group chat for everyone to follow. But before we close, I would like to announce the winners. The winners of our previous, the winners of the game we played. Can we hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So for the first question, the first person to answer was Gafa Isa. So Gafa Isa, thanks so much. Who is Gafa Isa? Thank you. Thank you so much for participating. You answered correctly first. Then for the second question, should they Araloyin? You answered correctly. Ability to communicate our values. That was the correct answer. Then to the third question, our winner is Fire Deborah. I hope they can all hear me.
Yes, you can hear you.
Okay, so these are the winners. The winners will be contacted for your prize. Well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go on our several social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere, and post the e-flyer of Inside 2022, and also post what you got from this training. And when you finish, just put hashtag Inside 2022 and we'll find it. If you can still hear me, let me know.
Yeah, I can
I
hear
can
you.
hear you.
That's what we'll do. Go to our several social media platforms and post what we got from today's session as we prepare for tomorrow. Tomorrow will be better, greater, and we'll have two more great
Sorry, what's
speakers
the
to
hashtag again?
prepare. Is someone
Sorry,
asking a
excuse me.
question?
Yes, I want to ask a
Yes, what's
question.
the hashtag?
The hashtag is Insight 2022.
Okay.
Yes, Insight 2022. That's the hashtag. We'll also go back to our WhatsApp group and drop your comments, drop your inspiration, your experience, everything you learned from today's session, and we'll get ready for tomorrow's session. Charge your phones, all your devices, and get ready for tomorrow. Also, get data. Yeah, thank you so much for participating. Thank you. I want to say a very big thank you once again to our speakers. To our first speaker, Mr. Victory Ashaka. He had to leave to attend to other things. But if you also have your questions for him, you can also send your questions to the WhatsApp group. It will be forwarded to him and give the answer. And for those who will be available, we'll also communicate that on the WhatsApp group. Are we together?
Yes.
Okay, we'll also communicate that on our WhatsApp group. Thank you so much.
For the questions, we don't know the people that want their gifts.
Okay, whoever is asking the question, I can't hear you. Your network is bad.
I think she's asking a question concerning the gifts of the winners also.
Yes, like I said, for the winners, I just announced their names. We'll contact you for your gift. Everybody's on the WhatsApp group, right? So we'll contact you for your prize. Yeah. Thank you so much for attending today's session. I would like to say thank you. When you go to the Insight on WhatsApp, also say thank you to students that are organizing this webinar. We put in so much resources, time, and energy. So also say thank you to the organizers and drop your vote of thanks to the speakers of today and get ready for tomorrow. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening.